Hello, this is Matthew Chan, and welcome to the newest episode of The Success Formula with Ray Williams. And in today's topic, we're going to be talking about living your life purpose. How you doing, Ray?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm really excited about today's session because it's the core of what I do a lot with people who are professionals, executives, business owners, and often entrepreneurs from the perspective of they're not sure whether they're actually doing the kind of work that they really wanted to do. So we're going to explore what the problems are associated with that and what you can do about it to be absolutely sure that you're doing the kind of work that you were meant to do in your life.
Okay.
So does that sound like a pretty good topic?
It was great. I just want to say before you get started is that I had this exposure to it back in November 2010, and when Ray went this exercise, boy, it had me thinking really, really hard. And so, I'm liking this topic a lot. So go ahead, Ray.
That's great. And you think about it, where the problems usually come from, Matthew, is that many people end up doing stuff in their life that their parents want them to do. They grow up and they go through school and they become a doctor, they become a lawyer, they become a business person, they become a teacher because that's probably what their parents wanted them to do. And so a choice in career often revolves around, I guess I should be doing that. That looks like a good career. And my parents will like that, my family will like it, and I will be respected and people will like me. So all of the stuff is on the outside, the exterior of validating what you should be doing in life. What I want to talk about today is a process you can use to be absolutely sure that it actually comes from the inside, whether other people approve of it or not. So you're clear about it. Okay?
All right.
So the first part of it is what I call your purpose in life. And while it may sound like it's a bit of an abstraction, initially I'm going to use some examples so that it becomes very concrete.
Okay.
So, what's your purpose in life? Why are you here on this earth? Do you know?
Me personally?
Yeah.
To me, it seems to be an ongoing question. I think I'm getting a little more clarity nowadays.
I think you are too.
Yeah, one of these is reaching out to the world, extending the reach for people like you. I love it. And, I love technology. I love teaching. I love knowledge, learning. So I think that this project is certainly well within one of my life's purpose.
Perfect. A perfect example of that. And in doing that, how does it make you feel in accomplishing that purpose?
Well, Ray, it's really interesting you ask that because it doesn't feel like work. It's like neither one of us are getting compensation, for doing this, at least not in the monetary, and not that we can foresee, and yet I have no problems with it. I actually enjoy it. I'm having fun with it, and there you go.
Okay, so in doing it, it makes you happy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very fulfilling.
So here's principle number one in figuring out what you want to do in life. Your purpose, whatever your purpose is, whatever you're on this earth to do, if it doesn't make you happy, you haven't chosen the right thing.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do things that don't make us happy? I can't tell you the number of doctors and successful CEOs who make lots of money who say to me, I hate my job. I am not a happy person. I do this because of the money.
Yes.
Or I do it because so that my wife can go around and say my husband is a doctor. My husband is the CEO of so-and-so at the club.
Right.
That's why they do it. So you've identified the number one thing that's required in being really clear about your career and your work, and that is your highest purpose is to make choices in your life that make you happy. Number one. If you're not happy, the rest of it doesn't matter.
Right.
Okay? Okay, the second principle I'm going to talk about today is once you know what your purpose is, which is to make you happy whatever you're doing, is that you develop a mission in life. So your mission is to accomplish certain things that's in connection with your purpose. Okay. So, for example, you use some examples. Mother Teresa, or Mother Teresa, some people like to call her, her purpose in life was to help people through the church, through God.
Okay.
Her mission in life was to go to India and help as many downtrodden poor people in the worst situations possible.
Right.
She could have chosen a different mission. She could have chosen the mission of staying in uptown New York and helping wealthy people off Fifth Avenue instead, but she chose not to do that.
Right.
See, but both of those would be consistent with her purpose, which is to help people. But her mission was to go to a place in India and help those people.
Got it.
Now, I have another client. His purpose is to develop software that will help people who are severely disabled to be able to use computers.
Okay.
By putting a thinking cap on their head so they can actually direct the computer with their thoughts. And that's what he's working on.
Interesting.
So his purpose is to help people who are handicapped survive in the world better. That's a real helping thing. And boy, he is so happy about that. His mission is to create the software that will enable him to do that. So you see what the difference is between the mission and the purpose. Mm-hmm. The purpose is to make you do something that will make you happy. Right. The mission is something you actually engage in to accomplish that purpose.
Got it.
Okay. So the mission is about other people. The purpose is about you. It's about you.
Yes.
All right. Because being happy is about you. It's not really about other people.
Well,
but if you don't have a mission that's going to help other people, you can sit there and be happy in your room all your life. So it actually has to go somewhere. So a mission is what we set out to do when you are happy. You are happy doing a particular thing. Now I say, okay, how am I going to take that to other people? Right? Okay. So your purpose is about being the kind of person you want to be. It's an internal thing. And in order to do that, to be really good at it, you have to have passion. One of the things I noticed about you, Matthew, is when you're doing the things you like, you're really passionate about it.
Well, thank you.
You're not. You don't just sit back and say, "Yeah, I guess it's okay. This is all right." And how many people have you met in your life that are doing a job where they have no passion for what they do?
Yeah, there's a lot of those running around.
Exactly. And one of the studies done by the Gallup organization have determined that up to 42% of all workers don't like their job. They have no passion for it, and they just put in the time in order to get a paycheck to pay for bills. That's it.
Right. Mm-hmm. I definitely see that.
And what can happen then is those particular companies, those organizations, they don't get really a lot out of those people, do they?
No, they don't.
So your productivity is severely affected. So in doing things to carry out your purpose in life and your mission, you need to have passion associated with that. I really love doing this. I love doing my work. You love doing your work.
Yeah.
That has to come along with choosing the right career and the right kind of work.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to tell you a story to kind of illustrate that. You've heard of Buckminster Fuller.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest minds in terms of design, of how to look at space and the nature of how buildings should be and how we use them and how cities should be.
Right.
And so I'm going to read from his biography about this because this is a really cool story about him that illustrates my point. Buckminster Fuller was one of the greatest inventors and thinkers of the 20th century. Here's a story that a lot of people don't know, is that when he was very young, he loved going to football games and parties. He was a party animal.
I never knew that.
Then something happened which changed his life. His daughter Alexandra, who was about 6 years old at the time, was very sick. He left the house one day promising to be back soon. Before he left, he promised Alexandra he would bring her back one of the small flags they had at the football game, it was her birthday. But Mr. Fuller didn't return home after the game. He didn't return home for 3 days because he was partying.
Okay.
Fuller, presumably, he was drunk a good part of the time, which he admitted. When he finally arrived home, his wife told him not to waste time apologizing to her, but to go upstairs and see his daughter immediately. Alexandra had taken a turn for the worst, and she was on her deathbed.
Oh, my God.
When Fuller picked up his daughter in his arms, he said hello to her, and she asked him for guess what? Where are the flags you promised me, Dad? He didn't have them. This disappointment sent her into a coma, and she died within an hour.
Oh, my God. That's a terrible story, Ray.
It is a story, but I want to illustrate what happened next.
Okay, please do.
After his daughter's death, Fuller went for a walk and decided to end his life. He was going to commit suicide. But he heard a voice in his head. And this is what the voice said. You don't have the right to end your life. It's not yours to end. Your life has a purpose. You've not done yet what you've come on this earth to do. At that moment, he decided to change his life and he sought his purpose. He sought to discover what, if anything, could be done, because at that time he was penniless and he had no particular occupation.
Mm-hmm.
So he stopped talking to anybody for 2 years. He didn't speak to anyone for 2 years.
2 years? He
realized that his words had tremendous power. Words often got him into trouble, like the promise he made to his daughter and his wife. He vowed not to speak unless he knew exactly what the effect of everything he said had on other people. And he sought to understand what made people successful and what rules existed in the universe. He went on to discover what he called the generalized principles of the universe, and most of these principles are in the form of mathematics published in his book called Synergetics, which today is still acknowledged as one of the genius books about mathematics. He went on to become one of the most creative and innovative geniuses of modern times. He found his true purpose in life. So people can say, yeah, but I'm not Buckminster Fuller, I'm not Albert Einstein or anyone else. Yes, but what he found out was, you know what, I'm here to do something very special, and I need to discover that, and he had to get through adversity to find out what that was. You think about this is what I found with a lot of my clients, is they have goals in life. We all kind of set goals, right? I want to make $1 million this year. I want to expand my business by 30%. So we all set goals. And you achieve that goal, and you don't feel anything exhilarating after the goal's achieved. Okay, it's fine for a while, you get excited for a while, and suddenly the excitement passes. Has gone. One of the things they found out in research is that just achieving the goal, if it's not related to your passion in life, your purpose in life, your mission in life, it never fills the void.
Yeah, it ends up being a very arbitrary thing that you just chose. You know, it's not really tied into you. It's more like tied into what everybody else thinks.
Exactly. And it passes very quickly, and then what do you do now? You now set another goal, and then another goal, and it just goes on endlessly.
Yeah.
So just setting goals alone is not establishing your purpose in life and not establishing your mission in life. So here's the steps, and I want to give some practical stuff that people need to know about establishing their purpose in life. And it comes from our understanding of metaphors. The human brain works in thinking about metaphors, thinking about things at an abstract level. So here's a way you can establish what your purpose really is in life. And it's an exercise our listeners can do at home. Part one is, think about the kind of animal you are if you were an animal in nature.
An animal? Okay.
Yeah, an animal. So if you were an animal in nature, Matthew, what kind of an animal would it be?
Oh my God, I've never been asked that.
So you don't have to answer now, but this is just an exercise our listeners can do.
I wrote it down.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Then part two is, what are the characteristics of this animal?
Okay.
So let me use an example. when I worked with a client of mine. He says, well, when I think of myself as being an animal, I think of myself as being an eagle. Oh, okay. You're an eagle. All right.
Yeah.
So what are the characteristics of an eagle that come to your mind? He said, well, it's someone who can see way above everything, the big picture kind of thing, seeing everything at once. I said, okay, so you see where we're going with this. It's a person that needs to see the big picture all the time. It's someone who is almost dominating their environment in the sense that nobody bothers eagles, right? Nobody chases them. They're way above everybody and lofty, and they see the big picture. They're good foragers in terms of being able to get food for their young. They have their nests high up in trees. They have tremendously good eyesight. So he went on to describe all these characteristics. I said, great. You're now describing some of your characteristics that you need to be able to take into your career or your work.
So what's your animal?
What's my animal? I'm a big bear.
You're a big bear?
A big bear. I'm strong and powerful, but I'm cuddly and warm and affectionate, and I'm a great family person. Bears are tremendous family people. They protect their families and their young very well.
Okay. How does that manifest in your professional life, may I ask? Being about
that's a good example. So how it manifests is that when I take care and am very protective of my clients.
Okay.
Protective of my clients' ego and sensitivity and their internal nature from the point of view of I'm not going to allow them to do anything that is harmful to themselves while they're working with me.
I like that, Papa Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear, right. And I work with young people. I do a lot of work with young people on a volunteer basis. Okay. And I'm very protective of them to provide the guidance to them to make the right decisions to head on the right path.
Well, you started a bad tradition. Now I'm going to be running around asking what's your animal of all the people that we mutually know.
So that would be step one in discovering what your purpose is, what kind of an animal it is. Now, step two is what kind of music do you like? Oh,
wow. I love all kinds of music. I love I was just listening to Elvis. That's the classics, rock and roll and
what are the characteristics of the music you love best? And so you would write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so take an example back to me. The kind of music I love best is jazz. Because it is improvisation. Well, the work I do, I have to improvise every single moment I'm working with somebody. It's all improvisation. I don't have a script. I don't have a particular formula. I have to go from moment to moment, say, okay, I'm going to shift here, I'm going to go there. I need to provide this kind of observation, this kind of assistance, this kind of direction. So music, the kind of music that I resonate with is exactly like that.
And you feel that the music that we like as people is tells us something about ourselves?
Absolutely.
Interesting. Wow.
So that would be a second step is what kind of music do you like and what are the characteristics, and you write that down.
Okay.
Then a third step would be what kind of art do you like?
Art. When you say art, you're talking about like painting, statues?
Yeah. Do you like oil paintings? Do you like abstracts? Do you like sculpture? Do you like three-dimensional art? Do you like performing art? All of those things are going to tell you a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So you write those characteristics.
Yeah. Okay.
You write those characteristics down. Then step 4 is now you put those things together into a phrase.
A phrase?
So into a phrase of language that describes those 3 things. So here's an example of some that I've written down from my clients over the last few years. I'm a bold navigator. I'm a playful sea otter. I'm a fearless lion. I'm a bear who will protect the people in this forest from harm. I'm an Arctic tern who will fly around the world seeking new places and adventure. That came from a pilot that I worked with. I'm here to create a new symphony of harmony for young people. My perseverance on Earth was meant to create wealth for everybody without harming the environment. I'm here to help the less able in the world through the accumulation of wealth in all my business. So what they did is they took the phrases out of the animal, out of the music, out of the art, and put it into a phrase that kind of described them as a person. Okay. So that's one of the ways, that's one of the strategies, one of the concrete ways of getting at what your purpose is in life and how you're going to make that into a mission and go forward.
Okay.
Okay. The next step you would take would be to ask yourself this question: what do you love to do most in life? And you do it by looking at various intervals in life. So when you were 6 years old, Matthew, what did you love to do?
Gosh, I don't know if I can remember that far back. I was told I liked playing toys and watching TV and that sort of thing. I guess whatever a 6-year-old.
What did you love to do most? If you had a choice and your parents couldn't tell you had to do something, and you got a complete freedom of choice, when you're 6 years old, what did you love to do?
Probably play.
Play.
Yeah.
So take a look at your life now. Isn't that actually exhibited in your life now? You love to play at what you do in terms of your work.
Yeah, I try to.
Right. Okay, so imagine instead if you had not loved to play, but what you love to do is be in a very regimented task in a place where you had to sit still in one place when you were 6 years old.
That's not fun.
Sitting at your desk drawing, or sitting at your desk, working on something. That wouldn't be you, would it?
No, not really.
But what happens with people is they often lose touch with what they love to do as a child, and they take a particular path in life in their career or business that is actually inconsistent with what they wanted to do when they were children.
Okay.
So for you, being able to play at your work is absolutely critical. And when you get in a situation where it's a new business venture, and you're not playing at it, you're not having fun at it, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
If it isn't fun for you, Matthew, don't do it.
Yeah, I loved experimenting and tweaking and just trying something. I definitely don't like the routine.
Right.
Okay.
So play is a critical element of what you need to do in terms of your work.
I'll buy that.
For someone else, it's something different.
I gotcha.
Okay, so what did you love to do when you were a child? Then what did you love to do when you were a teenager?
I did a lot more reading, actually. I was a little bit more, introverted. More mental activities. Yeah.
You're more reflective, right?
Mm-hmm.
More reflective. And I noticed you got a lot of books behind you there. So one of the things I've noticed is that you like to read things and understand things and gain an understanding. So that's a critical part of your life as well.
Yes.
Do you know the average American now, how many books a year they read for an entire year?
I hear it's pretty bad. It's single digits, right? Please tell me it's at least. Okay. Maybe 2 or 3? 2? Okay, 2. That many.
Yeah. We've suddenly lost this capacity for and enthusiasm for learning. And it doesn't have to be, textbook kind of stuff. It's just learning about the world. So that's a part of who you are that you need to take into your profession too, is this love of learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
So you see where I'm going with this, is to how to build that understanding of what you need to do in a career. These are the elements to it. What did you love to do in your first job or in the first job you ever had?
The first job I had was actually working in a restaurant. Disney World in the fast food kitchen. But interestingly, I did find that I liked taking charge.
Yes.
Eventually, I was like, I can follow orders pretty good, but I feel a lot more better when I'm taking charge in this operation.
Right.
Yeah.
So your sense of independence and liking to be in control is part of the situation. So is it any surprise that you're an entrepreneur?
No, not really.
No. So if you had denied that part of you, which is the desire to be independent and be in control, and gone to work for AT&T in a large corporation and staying there in the ranks, you would have not fed your soul and your spirit about what your real purpose is in life.
Well, I came close to getting fired a couple times. I was bucking authority. I went up against my managers a couple times.
Well, you know what? You probably arranged that to happen.
Well, I just didn't agree. I mean, some of it didn't make any sense, you know? It's like,
right.
Okay. But okay.
So the next part I want to go on to and finish off this segment for today is developing your personal mission statement. Here are the components to develop your own personal mission statement. So we talked about what your purpose is. Your purpose is to be happy.
Right.
Your mission is to do something with that makes you happy for other people. And it's necessary to have passion about that. So here are the components and elements to developing your own mission statement.
Okay.
Number one, it should be a description of who you are as a person in your personal mission statement. This is the kind of person I am. Part two is, who are you doing this stuff for? Who is it for? So, for example, in my case, I am doing this for clients throughout the world who want to find a better path towards happiness and fulfillment and success in life. That's who I'm doing it for.
Okay.
I'm not doing it for the people who don't want to do that.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
It's people who want to go in that route. Number three is, how will these people benefit from the work that you're doing? That's the third component.
Right.
The fourth component is, what impact will you make on these people? What's the impact you're hoping to make? And then number five, the last part of it is, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do it? Those are the components of a personal mission statement. One, who you are. Two, who are you doing it for? Three, how will these people benefit? Four, what's the impact you'll make? And five, how are you going to do it?
Okay.
So being able to write a personal mission statement that has those elements is going to help you make a decision about what are you going to do for other people. So I want to use I want to give an example of a mission statement that contains those elements. And I'm going to read it out to you to end today's show.
Okay.
It's my mission to educate, motivate, empower, and assist service-based entrepreneurs so that they can leverage and package their unique knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I help them see the marketability of their expertise, focus on their plan, and assist them with the development, creation of online marketing of information products. I do this through my own series of step-by-step, do-it-yourself processes, live events, group coaching, teleclasses, online courses, and one-to-one coaching. I create more sales, more net income, passion, purpose, and personal freedom for my clients and myself through my business efforts. That's a mission statement.
That's nice.
And you can see it incorporates all the elements that I talked about.
Yes.
This is who I am. Okay? This is who I'm doing it for. This is the impact it'll make. This is the difference it will make to their lives. And this is how I'm going to go about doing it. So I really encourage everybody, as a result of our show today, Matthew, is really, really be clear about what your purpose is in life, what really makes you happy. Secondly is to develop this personal mission statement for yourself. And you can use those examples I had about what kind of animal you are, what kind of music you like, what did you love doing in various stages in your life to give you a clue as to what that looks like. And then write this personal mission statement. And use that as a guide to guide you through, am I in the right business? Am I in the right profession? Am I in the right work that I'm doing in my career? And I think you'll have a lot more direction and focus if you do that.
Okay. Ray, I have a couple of questions here as we finish out this show, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Now, I wish I had listened to this when I was like 20 years old. Okay, but obviously a lot of us who are listening to this are probably in their 20s. So, but assuming that we had a 20-year-old, do you think it's possible that our personal mission statements can change as we go through life? I mean, or I feel, my gut reaction is it does change as we evolve, but I don't know. Or do you think that we're just kind of fixated to some core set of values and priorities?
Well, I think some things will stay the same all your life. So, for example, I think using you as an example.
Okay.
Using you as an example is, I think the thing about you having fun and really enjoying yourself at what you're doing, that will stay the same. Doesn't matter how old you are. And it was like that when you were a child. It's going to be like that when you're my age. Okay.
Okay.
That'll stay the same. That stays the same. How that shows up in your life, whether it's doing television shows or writing books or doing seminars or working with clients individually, those are all different ways that will manifest itself. And in various times in your life, you may choose one particular route, but the same thing will be in constant throughout is, am I having fun here? Am I really enjoying myself? Am I being independent? Right?
Yeah.
That's going to be the same all the way through. So that part of it doesn't change. How it manifests itself, it's like an artist. An artist may start out by drawing pen and ink sketches. And then later in life, they move to doing oils. And then later they say, you know what, I'm tired of this now. I'm going to do some sculpture. I'm going to do some architecture, some design. I'm going to switch my art to doing graphic design on the internet and using graphics in that capacity. That's still a common theme, but the vehicle and what it looks like changes. Right?
So when you look at your own history, do you feel that's true too, right? In the last, I don't know, 40
Absolutely.
years or so?
I started out as an educator, a high school teacher, and then became a principal. Like you, I liked being kind of in control and having some power over things, and then became a superintendent of schools. And it's, you know what, I think I've done what I need to do here, and I moved on to becoming a management consultant and working with people in the private sector, and then moved into executive coaching and helping people at individual and team level to make themselves more successful in all kinds of organizations. So the purpose is still the same, which is to assist, to help people grow, but the format and the vehicle and the context altered through my life.
Yeah, I definitely can see a common theme through the thread, as you were telling me your story. So, yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you answered a question. You really think that, I guess you're kind of saying the earlier you can get in touch with what that core values are or whatever that makes you tick, the better off you are. So you can just start, avoiding a lot of misery along the way. Exactly,
and not doing things for other people, but doing them for yourself. So using those strategies I outlined in this segment, I think that's going to assist you in getting in touch with what that really is.
Well, Ray, I thank you for this presentation, Ray. I can tell you I'm going to be working on my animal, the music, and my art after this. You've given me food for thought, and I like to believe our listeners are going to like this little exercise too. So it's all good. All right. Ray, anything else before we?
No, I think that's it for today.
Okay. On behalf of Ray and myself, thank you for taking the time to watch this episode of The Success Formula. Stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you.
Bye for now.